He opened the door, and reality didn't follow. Elias. Fragments from the Great Grid. There's a moment right after you open a door when your brain expects the world to behave. You turn the handle, you step forward, and reality follows you. That's the agreement. That's what makes life livable. But Elias learned something terrifying. Sometimes you open the door and the world doesn't come with you. After the email incident, Elias stopped trusting normal. He didn't say it like that. He didn't journal it like a philosopher. He just started noticing things. The way his screen brightness changed on its own. The way his phone showed 217, then 217 again, then 216. The way his inbox refreshed, even with no internet. Not supernatural, just wrong, in a way that made his stomach tighten. So he decided to run a test, not a dramatic test, a small one. He picked a door in his apartment, the bathroom door. Simple. He stood in the hallway and looked at it. Then he whispered, "Okay," as if he was speaking to a system, as if the room from episode 1 could still hear him. Then he opened the door. At first, everything looked normal. Bathroom light, white tiles, mirror. Elias exhaled. Then he stepped forward, and that's when he noticed it. The sound, not a noise. The absence of a noise. Because when you enter a bathroom, you hear subtle changes. Air, humidity, and little echoes. But when Elias crossed the threshold, nothing changed. It was like the room beyond the door had no acoustic relationship to the hallway. The air didn't shift. The silence didn't reshape. It was like Elias stepped into a picture. He turned around and looked back at the hallway, and for a second, it didn't look connected to him anymore. The hallway looked far away, like the perspective was wrong, like the door frame had become a screen. Elias reached his hand behind him, toward the hallway, without turning his body fully, and his fingers touched nothing. Elias froze. His hand was in the doorway space. His eyes could see the hallway, but his fingers couldn't feel it. He moved his hand left, right, up, down, no contact. Like the hallway was there visually but not physically. His heart started beating too hard. He pulled his hand back into the bathroom fast, like a man withdrawing from fire. Then he did something strange. He threw a towel, not at the mirror, not at the sink, toward the hallway. The towel left his hand, crossed the doorway, and stopped. Not dropped, not bounced, sopped. Suspended halfway through the door frame like it had hit invisible glass. One half in the bathroom, the other half caught in nothing. But it was hanging there like reality had folded around it and refused to continue. Elias stared at the towel and whispered, "Oh, no." Not fear, recognition. The towel didn't move. Elias touched it carefully. His fingers gripped fabric, but when he pulled, it resisted in a way fabric shouldn't. Not stiff, not stuck. It felt like pulling something through a seam that wasn't meant to open. Then the bathroom mirror fogged slightly, except Elias wasn't running hot water. The fog appeared in the shape of a handprint, a palm, from the inside of the mirror, like something had pressed outward from the other side. Elias stepped back. The mirror cleared again. Then the light above him flickered once. Not a horror movie flicker, just a single interruption, a punctuation mark. And the towel began to slide, not fall. Slide sideways, as if the gravity inside the doorway changed direction. Elias watched it drag itself along the invisible boundary until it was completely inside the bathroom again. The doorway looked empty, normal, but Elias knew the boundary was still there. He reached out again, slowly. His fingertips passed the door frame and met blank resistance. Invisible, perfect. A barrier where air should be, like reality had ended at the threshold. Elias backed away and sat on the bathroom floor. He tried to calm his breathing. This wasn't spiritual. This wasn't cosmic. This was procedural, like something had broken in the system that renders the world. He looked up at the mirror again. This time, the mirror did not reflect him correctly. It reflected him late, half a second late. He moved his head. The reflection followed, but delayed, like the mirror was processing him, like it wasn't sure. Elias blinked hard, and in that blink, a thought arrived that wasn't his, not a voice, not an echo, more like a sentence injected into his mind. "You're outside the sequence." Elias whispered, "No, I'm not." But he wasn't answering anyone. He was answering the fear that had been waiting beneath his life for years, the fear that reality was never solid, just consistent. Elias stood up. He grabbed the door handle and tried to close the door. It wouldn't close, not because it was jammed, because the door no longer recognized the frame. He pushed again, harder. The door moved slightly, then stopped mid-swing, like it had encountered resistance in empty air. The door was stuck in the middle, open enough to see the hallway, but separated from it. Elias panicked now. Not dramatically, quietly, efficiently. He reached for his phone. No signal, no Wi-Fi, no anything. He opened the camera. The camera showed the hallway as normal. No barrier, no distortion. Through the phone screen, everything looked connected. So Elias did something unthinkable. He held the phone out into the hallway space, past the door frame. The phone crossed easily. No resistance. His hand did not. His hand stopped at the invisible boundary. But the phone passed through. Elias stared at it. He could see the phone on the other side, held by fingers that shouldn't reach it. Then the camera glitched. For one frame, the hallway looked longer than it should. For one frame, the hallway had no doors at all, just walls. Then it snapped back. Elias pulled the phone back, as if he'd touched something toxic. Then he heard it, a faint sound, from the hallway. Not footsteps, not speech. The sound of something aligning, like a gear finding its notch, like reality trying to reseat itself. The barrier shimmered, not visibly, not like a sci-fi field. It shimmered in the way your eyes shimmer when they're about to cry. But you're not sad. A pressure wave moved through the doorway. Elias felt it on his skin. His ears popped. And then the hallway noise returned. Just a tiny sound, like distant air conditioner hum. The hallway was back. Not visually, physically. Elias reached out. His fingers touched the air. Normal air. No barrier. He grabbed the towel, pulled it fully through. The door swung freely again. The bathroom light stabilized. The mirror returned to real time. Everything looked normal. Elias stood there shaking, because he realized something worse than fear. If reality can pause, it can also resume, like nothing happened, like you imagined it, like you're the one that's broken. Elias left the bathroom, walked into the hallway, stared at his own front door. Just a door, his door. He stood there for a long time, hand hovering over the handle. Then he noticed something on the floor, near the edge of the hallway wall, a thin line of dust. But the dust wasn't random. It formed a shape, a rectangle, like the outline of something that used to exist there. A door-sized rectangle. Elias crouched down, and in the dust, someone, or something, had written with a fingertip, "Try again." Elias stood up slowly. His heart didn't race. It sank, because now he understood. These weren't accidents. These weren't glitches. This was training, and the grid was teaching him what doors really are. That night, Elias didn't sleep. He sat in the dark with his phone turned off, listening to the building breathe, and for the first time, he realized the problem wasn't that reality broke. The problem was worse. Reality broke, and then pretended it hadn't. And if it can do that, then Elias has no way of knowing how many times it's already happened.